Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I'm in Montrose, Colorado at the moment. If you want to find out anything about me, go to MySpace where I have a page. This year is about working in Las Vegas casinos. I've worked in them since about 1996. I've worked at the Klondike, uh, right on the Strip. I've worked, which is closed down now. I've worked for the MGM, and I've worked for the Holiday Inn Casino and Boardwalk. The MGM, I worked up in the warehouse division. It was a lot of fun, a lot of hard work, but it was a lot of fun. They had the shows, and I'd sometimes work with a temporary service and come up there and serve drinks and things during the shows. It's the biggest casino, I think, or at least at that time. This was in 1995, and yeah, 1995, in the world at the time, or at least the biggest casino and hotel at the time. I don't know if it still is today. I worked for the Holiday Inn Casino Boardwalk. It's which has now been imploded. I think it's a parking lot now, and that was on the Strip, just down from the MGM and the New York, New York. I was there the night the New York ran its little roller coaster, or tried out its roller coaster with people on it one night, and this would have been in '97, and it got stuck. Kind of funny. But I remember when they opened up, and it was a big opening. And I also remember the night, New Year's night of '96 and '97, when they imploded the Hacienda. We had to shut down the Holiday Casino Boardwalk, the bottom floor, because there was about 500,000 people who went to see the implosion, and then they started coming back. And I remember going home about 11 o'clock that night, and with a cup of hot chocolate in my hand. And as I was walking out the door, going through the crowd, somebody just come up and just slapped me up the back of the head. Without even looking, I just went this like this, got him right in the face. Don't know what happened to him, but they got burned a little bit, and I don't think they'll be doing that anymore. But anyhow, I worked for the Klondike in the summer of '99 when I went to work with my agent Donna Wahab over on the Industrial Drive, and that was the most interesting casino of all. You encounter all kinds of weird things. I remember one night I'm in the pit, exchanging money. It's right after midnight, and a lady is getting robbed outside. And so the people are screaming, yelling, the lady's getting robbed, lady's getting robbed. And I go out of the pit, run out the door, chase them off. The lady held on to her pocketbook, and like a idiot, after the robbers ran down towards then the Monte Carlo, Mandela Bay, I'm sorry, or the new Mandela Bay. She signs over that she wouldn't sue the casino, for whatever damages were. I was there alone that night because the other two security people quit or didn't show up, as they usually do. Why? Because you get very little pay there. One thing you never want to do is trust your security to any security guard at a casino, because they are very underpaid individuals. Supposed to have no police training, no training of any kind. The only time you're going to look at it is if you end up with someone that's a retired police officer or someone that's moonlighting as a security guard who is a active police officer. In fact, we did have a police officer that used to come by every night at the Klondike, or every couple of nights. He ran a apartment complex not too far, just right over by the MGM. And one night he didn't show up, and we went to find out why he didn't show up. He wasn't working there; he just liked to hang out. And it ends up he had went in and robbed all of his tenants of their money and jewels and stuff, and took off. And he's a retired police officer. I'm sure when they catch him or caught him by now, I'm pretty sure he will lose his pension. Don't figure. But anyhow, when wait around, I went out of the pit, ran the two robbers off. I saw him in the casino earlier. I knew they were stuck in the place. They tried to tell the manager. He didn't want to listen, and this is what happens when they don't listen. And eventually, they got out. They got away. Police were called. They did their little report, and that was about it. What I can tell you is interesting is how the guy that was over security, because I was working personnel, security that night, or loss prevention they call it, told me that had the money been stolen in the pit while I was out there chasing off the robbers, I would have had to pay back the money. Well, I told them I'd like to see, this would go to court, I'd like to see a jury make me pay the money for that loss. I don't think they would win. I think because people in Vegas are still pretty good people. They're about as normal as anybody else in America. You have your fringe group and your weirdos and your freaks and your perverts, but it's basically a city just like any other city in America. And I don't think that would have happened. I really don't. I don't think any court, any judge is going to make me pay back something when I'm trying to help a lady who's being mugged. Of course, the funniest thing that happened that night was, or a couple of weeks later, was the girl that comes in, the big tall girl running around crowing like a rooster. That was hilarious. Of course, her boyfriend, or the guy that picked her up off the street somewhere, he got arrested that night. We had him arrested because he was wanted for something, and he was taking her off to do something with her, and it wasn't good. And apparently she was on something. Big surprise. And of course, I like the guy that comes in there stark naked one day. I run him out. He goes down the middle of the strip. I call the police. Police says, well, we'll get to it when we can. For 30 minutes, I sat out there and watched this guy just walk right down the strip, and several police cars go right by him and didn't even bother to stop, pick him up or anything. Don't figure. But anyhow, working at a casino can be a quite interesting experience, especially if you work in loss prevention, you work on the floor, you're a bartender. You're going to encounter some very unusual characters and people. And the one thing you'll encounter that we encountered the most at the Holiday Inn Casino Boardwalk were stalkers. We had this girl in here named Marla. This girl was attracting stalkers left and right. Some of these girls had to be escorted home. The girl I was dating had to escort her home. Vegas is full of bloody stalkers. And the one I like is back at the Klondike in '99, is the guy with his wife and 2 kids come up. Reminds me of Chevy Chase movie Vacation. And almost in a wagon, just like that, a car, just like they had in the movie there. And he goes, asked me, is prostitution legal in Vegas? And I told him no. Well, can I find a prostitute anyway? His wife's sitting right there and his 2 kids in the back seat. It's illegal, stupid. That's what I told him, and I walked away. That's the kind of characters you meet in Vegas. And a lot of people come to Vegas thinking that they're going to be able to hook up with a hooker and it's going to be, legal. It ain't legal. It's illegal. You got to go to one of those brothels out there in Pahrump or somewhere, if you want to get a disease or something. Because half the prostitutes in Vegas have diseases. But nonetheless, Vegas is a pretty neat city. There's a lot of things to do there where you don't have to gamble. You stay off the north side. You stay off that area there. If you're going to live in Vegas, live up towards the MGM, up in that area there around Tropicana. You might want to live in Pahrump if you have a good car, so you don't get broke. Getting broke down, that's not a very safe thing to do in that area. But basically, you'll find people in Vegas, pretty good people. You'll find them to be average Americans, just like everyone else. There's a lot of excitement there. You just have to know where to go and where not to go. And you need to study that and learn it before you go to Vegas. And before you work for a casino, make sure you understand what you're getting into, because it's unlike anything, any other business in America. It can be a very cold place to work, and people come and go, or that is employees, managers come and go, like you do at a fast food joint. But there's just one story after another I could tell you about working in a casino, and it is an adventure. I strongly suggest if you live there, you get in a good place to live. Go down to the Harbor Island Apartments near Maryland Parkway in Harmon, near the Hard Rock, and go with a friend, stay in groups, especially at night, and avoid gangs at all costs. Know where the gangs are at. You see a whole lot of group of kids together, avoid them. Go across the street, whatever it takes, act like you don't see them. Carry you some mace. I used to have a stun gun and a few other little things to protect myself with. Well, anyway, this tape can only go on for 10 minutes. I can't go any further than that. And I just wanted to give you an idea of what it's like to work at a casino in Vegas. You will encounter some very odd characters depending on where you work at. But they do have drug testing. They do have criminal background checks. You will have to get a sheriff's card in some instances, a health card in some instances, and it's not a lawless place anymore. It is not like it used to be. Because Vegas used to be the place where most criminals in America went to hide. You can't hide there anymore. It's very difficult to hide in Vegas anymore. Anyway, I hope this enlightened you some, and hope I provided some information if you decide to go there that will be helpful to you. Thank you for your time. Bye.